Hey, Bryce here from Robotics Competition News. I'm here in the pit of Team 4276, Surf City Vikings.
Yep.
I'm here with students.
I'm Kyle Serrano.
I'm Riker Barthold.
I'm Jordan Murray.
Came by the pits. I happened to notice, I love, saw some very unique concepts on the robot. First and foremost, I love your gear intake. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so our gear arm actually didn't start out as these two wheel rollers. It started out as an overhead roller. Mm-hmm. You can imagine a set of wheels from the top rolling to suck the gear in. And we went through a couple of prototype designs with that, but we found that it was too big, bulky, and it was really heavy. So we switched to two intake wheels, and how we came up with that is we had another idea with pneumatic pinchers, but we didn't want to use pneumatics to pinch the gear because we thought it would be too finicky. Mm-hmm. So we combined the two. We wanted to have some type of form of wheels to suck the gear in, but also have that on the sides. So what we did was we took two wheels, put on the sides, and pretty much hooked them up to drills in our prototypes, and it sucked the gear in perfectly. It meshed in between the gear arm, or in between each gear channel. Yeah, the teeth. So it grabs the gear on really tight, and we started out with an 1/8 of an inch thick gear arm, and that was a little too flimsy. We ran the gear into a wall, and it bent our gear back. It bent the gear arm back. So we used 1/8 inch for Central Valley Regional, and after that we decided to go with a 1/4 inch arm for the Orange County Regional. And what happened then was it still bent because we had a really hard impact with another robot. So it was just that 1/4 inch bending back. So for champs, what we did was on the actual robot, you can see we have gussets now. It's still made out of 1/4 inch, but it doesn't have any holes on it. It just has our number cut out, so it's a lot stronger. So we added the gussets, and we didn't weld it because we thought that would be stronger without welding it, and we can replace it easier. So it's just bolts on. Right. So if it bends again, just take it out, swap it for a new one, and that's our gear arm that you see on our robot right now.
Awesome, I love it. Yep. It's one of the most efficient floor intakes I've seen. It just picks it up so effortlessly.
For sure, and it has a button. It has a little bumper switch right there,
right.
So when the gear gets in, the wheels actually stop, so we don't run the gear up.
So are you driving the wheels after it's already in there? Are you applying a bit of power to keep it locked in?
Yeah, so when the gear hits the button, the wheels still run for like a half a second, maybe a little less, to still get that gear in, and then it stops so we don't stall out the motors.
So I assume you have your talons in brake mode, so the wheels don't want to move.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome, very cool.
Yep.
So the second thing on the robot I saw, you have a dual shooter, which I thought was very cool. Greg, you want to talk to me about that?
Yeah, so we have dual 775s for what we call the elevator or the shooter, and also the regular just flywheels. And over the past couple of regionals, we've been adding more and more weight, just tuning PIDs, getting the smoothest shooter that we could.
More counterweight on your flywheel?
Yeah. Okay. And so even then, we weren't shooting enough balls. Right. So just this championships, we've added a second set of rollers sticking out that allows balls to go up and around the whole entire what we call the elevator. And we're getting a lot higher balls per second now.
Okay. So is that like a feed issue or like an actual shooter flywheel issue?
It was a feed issue. We had balls that were jamming up in the corners, and we decided to go ahead and add basically paddles inside of our hopper that just force the balls into the elevator.
Right, as like an agitator to agitate the hopper. Right?
Yeah. We first had the paddles, and then we added that extension bit from the front of the elevator.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. And so you've been getting what's your accuracy like with the dual shooters? Yeah.
So we've been getting about 70 to 60% accuracy, but we're shooting, I believe, about 8 balls per second. So it's still a high number of balls that we can dump from our hopper. I think we empty our hopper, robot hopper, in about 10-15 seconds.
Very good.
It's a very fast process.
Do you think having a dual shooter gets you more balls per second than having just a single one of the same design?
Yeah, I think so. Because you can have more surface area that you're intaking from. So we have effectively twice the surface area that we can intake our balls and funnel them through.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And the last thing, your climber. You said you went through a total redesign for this competition?
Yeah, so when we were first designing the climber, we kind of had a concept that we were doing kind of in the background of it. It was more, we were focusing on gear arm and shooter throughout the design process, and climber was something we were working on in the background. And we had somewhere it was just a sim motor on a boat winch, so I had like a 48-to-1 reduction all the way through. And that kind of worked like a little bit. That didn't work too well because it was a bit slow, a bit clunky. It was a half-inch shaft, like trying to get the Velcro rope, and it was just really not going too well, around 15-second climb plus time for lineup. So then after that, we completely scrapped it, switched it out for this new climber with dual 775s on 49-to-1 reduction with this giant like 8-inch wide piece for the churro stuff that you use on a kitbot part.
Yeah.
And we wrap those each in Velcro, and we have the rope that goes onto it. So rope sticks on the Velcro really easily. Then it just climbs up in about 2 seconds now.
Awesome. That's an awesome climb time.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually took a little bit from the ratchet before as well. We had this piece right here that was on the original ratchet that held the gear arm and held the climber in place after it climbed, so we didn't have to put stress on the motors or anything like that. For this one, we custom designed some little just gears that we water jet out, and just had them mesh with the little ratcheting piece, and just had that going so we could hold it in place.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.